He's got good dribbling ability and the power to go past people.
Lewis, up towards the table, Duki. Simon. Forward. Set. Pouring into each other. And it's Onel Hernandez. Cavaselli, who stood his ground, and it's a no foul. Back again, it's that sort of thought, even Lewis. Hernandez. Lewis. Yanda. Quickly surrounding Yanda, the goal supported. Hughes. Herrera cleaning away. Herrera, almost outside of him. It was certainly a workhorse. Shifted hurriedly forward by Buendia. Taken up by Hernandez. Sorting it out.
It's a local game at the moment, isn't it? A little bit end to end. Both teams got to get organised, start to get a grip in the game, settle it down a little bit. Isn't there? Almost a feel, you can feel the energy from the teams and almost a caution to some degree.
Away from home is that it makes it struggle. Lay down on the ball.
Good use of the key pad for what looks like in that role. He's got slightly different role receiving just off the front two in that little pocket of space. He's a clever footballer, very technically assured. They want to get him the ball as much as they can.
Forward by Foster. Capoue. reasons to be cheerful. They currently say that they have scored in every home game up to now. When they haven't scored away from home, there's consistently been a sense around them that there's a goal in them. The team that lacks for invention. One of us against Aaron's. The last couple of games for Watford, first through suspension. No stranger to suspension. Lots of yellow cards. So also for injury.
I think he's one player also that probably suits maybe the back three and playing as a wing back. Not the most defensively sound in terms of the back four. I think he does better within a five.
Just got around the back here. The ball rolling behind. Hughes has scored that very early goal at Newcastle back at the start of the season. Well, there's the guy they want to be the source of goals, Troy Deeney, who has been out since operation underway in August. He's worked very hard individually and with the group to get back into the 18, probably slightly ahead of schedule. The supposition had been that he wouldn't be seen on the team sheet until the other side of the November international break. Hughes trying to play with lots of space ahead of Janmaat. And Janmaat has whipped it in. So heavily for Pereira. To be fetched by Hughes and set back for Deulofeu to roll it wide.
This has been a key problem for Norwich this season for me. Jamal Lewis finds himself so far in field here. He's in between the players, he can't get tight. All of a sudden the space is wide, it's a lovely ball. Just can't quite attack it. They haven't quite got that centre forward who's going to be aggressive and go and head the ball, but signs of how Watford can just split Norwich open at times.
Play by Lewis. Corey, the cover save. Corey. Janmaat. Pereira. Olvas. Corey. Hughes again. Pereira keeps it moving to Corey. Janmaat. Seve. Olvas. Norwich are on the back foot. It must be an oddity for Watford, who've had more of the ball probably in the first quarter of an hour or so here than they've really been used to for these 2 or 3 months at the start of the season.
No, I think it's a massive indicator that Norwich have started a bit of a slow tempo. They're at home, they've gone one down. They've got to get up and start to apply some pressure to Watford higher up the pitch. They're making small mistakes and little bits of indecision. Got to clear their heads and start to play the game properly.
Pookie. To that end, here is Lewis. Hernandez outside of him. Temu Pookie. Defensive made by Dawson. Hernandez, he's got a trick. He's got away from Janmaat. His full-back was read by Etienne Capoue. Who's clearing some? Only found Aaron's. Aaron's wants to take on Olvas. Enrique is strong enough.
You've got that Olvas. Aaron's wanting to use his pace and just knock at the other side of him. He just got his body across well and snuffed it out. Really silenced the crowd as well, hasn't he, that goal? Almost took the sting out of the supporters so early on.
Lewis. need to reinflate their balloon here. Popped pretty promptly tonight. Godfrey. Lewis. Spotted by Cavaselli. A tight spot by Jan, that's return pass.
See a bit more intensity from Norwich, just instances like that, the ball turns over, you've got to get in with a tackle, put a tackle in, put pressure on the Watford player with the ball.
Lewis. Nice touch from Stiepermann. Playing sought the return. Cavaselli went to ground and shouted handball, referee wasn't interested. Pereira's been fair to fade. Protected by Decore. Pereira. Here. Stephen caught Hernandez! Cut away from the waiting Pookie.
It's far better from Norwich. Lovely ball through, lovely ball inside the fullback there for Hernandez. Can't quite put enough pace on it for Pookie. Really needed to zip it across the face of the goal, wanted to get it across there.
Norwich getting teeth into the occasion. Wendia's delivery, Dawson's header out. Lewis under pressure from De La Feo. Lewis, but the Spaniard didn't get a toe on that, or he was away. McLean, Stiepermann, look out like a pull, yes, foul like a pull.
He won't think about it there, Andre Mario, didn't he? Didn't quite know if there was contact, it looked a foul. You can just see there's just enough contact. I don't think it's enough to knock him over, but Stephen wasn't shy to go down and win the free kick for Norwich.
The free kick was given to Wendia, and tops Norwich's creative statistics in just about every column to claim a dead ball. By Buendia, kicked away to Tete, who was hurriedly closed down.
A nice delivery from Buendia, just enough weight and angle, and whips it in right into the perfect area. Just Godfrey just keep getting across his man. He defended in the end from Dawson, I think he just gets his body in and stops Godfrey attacking it.
Here's this cue header. Initially, silky touch. Retain possession for Watford. We found Cavaselli, who looks ratcheting through with Hughes. That's it covered. He's fighting back on Hatch Arrows. Pookie, Wendia, come down, and Arthur Rana looks the other way. McLean was the player who fell.
So it did look like contact. It was a lovely build-up play from Norwich. There's a tiny bit of contact from Holebas. He keeps his feet, in fairness to Holebas. He doesn't look to put his leg into the player. Yeah, you can clearly see there, he goes to the ground and Watford managed to smother it out, but much better build-up play for Norwich.
Yeah, I could of course have a look at that. They showed no lasting interest. Lewis. Tete. Throwing a boot. It's a control in town, and now Hernandez is on his way, and Foster has smothered, and Pookie has it, and Cavasele blocked, and Watford have got away with it. Hughes asking Matt to clear.
Hernandez nearly making up for his earlier mistake, giving the ball away, nearly got slid in there.
Telefeu, Herrera. Olivas. Herrera.
He's looked quite dangerous on his left-hand side though, Hernandez. Norwich every time looking to slide that ball just in between one of the three centre-backs, or the centre-back or the wing-back, and get a little bit of joy.
So he called on it, Kaku helped him out, and drew a foul from Stiepermann. This was a key intervention from Foster.
That's a good bit of goalkeeping, he just makes it off his line. Here we are, Steve, it's a lovely straight ball for the run for Hernandez. It's so quick off his line, Ben Foster, and he recognises he's just going outside of the box. Doesn't go with his hands, goes with his feet. Really good goalkeeping.
Bravo for Manchester City the other night, rushing out of his box in similar fashion. That's been switching logic lesson how to do it, and here is Hughes for Watford. Hughes! Just high, just wide. Markley and Carrow Road responding to that. Uplifted to some extent by the glimpses of hope their team have offered in recent times.
Just see again there in that build-up, Tete, this is a crucial tackle. You know, these type of games they're poised on those moments. You come out as a centre-back there, you cannot afford to lose that tackle. Twice now in this game, it's gone the wrong way for Norwich, and they've been punished once.
McLean, read by Cavasele, McLean's got it back now, Cavasele has committed. McLean and behind by Kafka.
Again, Norwich down this left-hand side. They're enjoying it over here, playing some good football, sliding those passes again. It's a poor clearance, manages to get round McLean, just can't put enough angle and pace on that ball, and they haven't really got Pookie in the middle of the box.
Here takes, picked up by Olivas. Followed up by Telefeu. Herrera can't get there. India. Picks up with Kaku. Came back to Godfrey, who cut it against Stiepermann. Tete. Looking from wide. Looking for a route around Olivas. Aarons. Olivas himself. Aarons with the cross. Hernandez! Couldn't catch it right. Olivas against Pookie, and it's smuggled out for Telefeu. Herrera. Hughes. He's coming over. You have to say both defences here look entirely fragile.
Completely, there's a lot of mistakes. So that was such a bizarre passage of play. Aarons here really going at the back four, almost a deflected cross. This looked like the pass of the century from Hernandez. Not sure he meant it, but then a bit of pinball, all ricocheting everywhere. Scruffy defending from Watford in the end.
By Lewis. Hernandez again, and he is quick, and he's away from Dawson, but Cavasele caught him up and held him up before he was holding out defensively. away from Tete. And finding himself a yard, Pereira, face to face with Aarons. He got back and took it off his toe. Jan Matt is still harrying. Takore. Still out to Nigel Corey. And still the Corey. Corey's glad to get his gloves around it.
I don't think the surface is helping. It's quite greasy up there, a little bit slippy. Maybe that's aiding, you know, the touch and the tackles and the mistakes, but there's certainly a lot of ricochets and scrappy play going on. Just on this Watford's right-hand side, Kabasele down here is having a real tough time of it. You feel that Norwich are going to keep looking to exploit him down here at the moment.
Flip forward, overhit though by Stiepermann, and Ben Foster brings the ball down originally on his chest and now picks it up inside the 18-yard box. I think he'll just take a bit of time here, Ben Foster, which is his forte, just to try and take a bit of sting out of the game.
Yeah, it's experienced play, but to be honest, I'm expecting this ball to come right back at him any minute now.
9 shots between them so far, but only 1 on target, crucially. That was the goal scored by Delafeu. Here is Will Hughes into the feet of Pereira, midway inside the Norwich half. This is Takore. Takore back to the halfway line in Kabasele. Kabasele is going to play it out to the right-hand side here. Janmat. Unusual combination of short sleeves and gloves. Never understood that. Here is Cathcart for Watford, who finds Capoue inside the centre circle. 28 play, 1-0 Watford lead. We have to play the ball out here because I think Roberto Pereira's got a problem. Just sat down halfway inside the Norwich half. Are we going to see Troy Deeney earlier than expected? That's the name on the lips of the Watford supporters. Always a worry, Dave, when a player goes down on his own accord with the ball nowhere near him.
Yeah, I think he's just Vizio's run on. I think he's just pointing to his hamstring. Maybe he's felt something go there. It is a cold, wet night as well. You know that can. Yeah, I think it is the hamstring. The Vizio's having a look at it now, but he doesn't look comfortable at all, bro. And it's a shame because actually he just started to come into the game as well. He was looking dangerous.
And Troy Deeney is out warming up, back in the Watford ranks today after undergoing knee surgery back in August. Very much the Hornets' talisman. And Roberto Pereira, I think, will be unable to continue. Kike Sanchez-Flores is just asking Pereira whether he might be able to run this off. Pereira, I think he's going to give it a go, Dave.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this at all. If you feel your hamstring, you know you felt your hamstring. You're not going to cramp 28 minutes into a game. If you feel something in your hamstring, it's because you've pulled it, you've nicked the muscle, and you're only going to make it worse.
Well, keep an eye on that one. Meanwhile, Ben Foster has the ball. Of course, the new regulations this season are if you play the ball out of play for an injury, rather than the old-fashioned system of the opposing team giving you the ball back, the referee gives it back and you automatically restart. Roberto Pereira is back out there, not moving freely. Meanwhile, McLean has possession for Norwich and plays it out for the left-hand side, and Jamal Lewis. I think Watford are going to make a change, and it is going to be Troy Deeney, isn't it?
Yeah, the sub-board. I can see the fourth official putting the sub-board up.
Hernandez,
Yeah.
but the flag went up very early.
Yeah, I mean, they're almost damned if they do and damned if they don't, because people have been saying, you know, criticising the fact that actually they're being over-reliant on VAR. They're keeping their flag down, and I think, well, look, that is clear and obvious for the assistant referee, wasn't it? He could see he was offside. He put his flag up.
It's not Deeney, actually. Andre Gray is the man coming on for Pereira. 1 goal in his last 15 appearances. So Quique Sanchez Flores clearly deciding that Deeney not able to play the final hour. Does beg the question, why is he on the bench in the first place?
Yeah, I think he was definitely on there for... I mean, you want to take him with you, want him to feel part of the squad. He's a talisman for Watford.
Here's Deulofeu. He's been the talisman tonight, although not with shooting like that. Ball ballooned into the stands behind the goal from 20 yards out. And the goal kick taken quickly by Krul. Norwich 0, Watford 1. 15 minutes of what's been a really entertaining first half still to play here on Premier League Live. Godfrey goes back to Krul, the goalkeeper, who plays it out to the right hand side, and Tetty.
To be fair, it's a great game to come into, isn't it? I mean, Andre Gray must have been sat on that bench thinking, I just want to get a chance here because there's goals for me as a striker here. There's chances for everybody at the moment. Certainly there was in the first half an hour.
Decore forward for Watford into the feet of Deulofeu, gives it back to Decore. Neat turn by Cabaselli away from Pukki. Dawson here, former West Bromwich Albion man, plays it forward to Cathcart down the left hand side. Cathcart into the feet of Hughes, just inside the Norwich half. Here is Holibas in space. Over on that far touchline, it goes back to the halfway line. Etienne Capoue. He's been a big loss over the last few weeks as well. The ex-Tottenham man. Cabaselli skips away from the challenge, and McLean goes to ground, wants a free kick, but the referee plays advantage because Watford have got some space here down the right with Janmaat once more. Janmaat's crossed into the area. Again, nobody really attacked it. Kept alive by Holibas. Into the feet of Hughes inside the penalty box. Gray on the turn, shoots just wide via a deflection. It's actually a really good block from Ben Godfrey.
If Watford do not win this game, they will kick themselves. But by far and away the better chance. And like I say, Andre Gray, great run across the box, swivels, gets his shot. It is a really, as you say, it's a fantastic block because Norwich were going to be 2 down there, no doubt about it. It was that close, Gray, to the goal. It was only going to finish in the back of the net. It's a great block. Second corner for Watford.
12 minutes to go until half-time. Jose Holibas will take it on this near side. Cathcart forward from the back, so too Cabaselli. Dawson completing the trio of defenders who come forward. Puff of the cheeks from Jose Holibas. It's a left-footed in-swinger, and underneath the crossbar it's punched behind by Krul. In fact, the last touch was off a Watford player. I think Cathcart climbing. That was a chance.
Yeah, it was. They didn't mark him well at all.
Watford hunting in packs as Norwich try and play their way out from the back. They've done so to reasonably good effect. And it's switched out to his left-hand side, and Hernandez. Pukki in the centre. Hernandez into the penalty area now. Tries to find Pukki. Actually rolls it back in the path of Stiepermann. His touch was heavy. I don't think it was the best ball in the world. And it's cleared to the halfway line by Cathcart.
Hernandez, he's definitely the outball for Norwich, but you just don't know what you're going to get at the end, do you? I thought he was destined to shoot, just going to cut inside and curl it in the far corner. He certainly flicked it into the middle, seemingly to no one.
Yeah, bypassed Pukki, and it wasn't quite into the path of Marco Stiepermann either. Still, reasons for optimism though when they do come forward, Norwich City. Here's Tetty, 10 yards inside the Watford half. Plays it back towards Tribal, just inside the Watford half of the field. Now Lewis, out for left, and Hernandez again. Fizzes the pass into the feet of Hernandez. As the beating of Cabaselli pulls back the cross, and the header from McLean into the arms of Foster.
Hernandez yet again for Norwich. Everything good that Norwich are doing is going down the left-hand side and through Hernandez. Great step over that time. Gets to the byline, gets his cross back in, cuts it back with his left foot. It's a tame header in the end. It's easy for Foster, but again, great signs.
Kevin De Bruyne is leading the assist charts in the Premier League at the moment. Can you guess who's second?
It wouldn't be Hernandez, would it?
It would.
Is it really?
Which in itself is incredible when you look at Norwich's struggles for goals in recent weeks. Here's Decore in the area, trying to find Andre Gray. Norwich scramble it half clear, and that's powerfully done by Stiepermann. Showed a bit too much of it though to Etienne Capoue, plays it out to the right, and Delafeu this time going to try and take on young Lewis. Mazy footwork, but Lewis stood tall in fairness, and Delafeu is forced backwards into Capoue. Capoue rolls it across the 18-yard box. Holebas might shoot here if he can get room on the edge of the area. Capoue does shoot, and he's drilled it wide.
Well, Delafeu, I mean, he did me with those step overs. There were so many of them. Horrible player to play against. Great to have on your side. He really is. He's been fantastic in this first 35 minutes.
I think he tricked himself. Crawl out to Teti down the right hand side. 9 minutes remaining of the first half. It's still Norwich 0, Watford 1. You're listening to Premier League Live, the start of a bumper Premier League weekend. Tomorrow our coverage starts at 12:30 UK time. Chelsea against Palace will be our base. As Decore tries to find Hughes. Good challenge by Teti. That game at Stamford Bridge is followed by Spurs against Sheffield United from 3, with goals as they go in from Burnley, from Newcastle and from Southampton. And then at 5:30, big game of the day, Leicester at home to Arsenal. All of those here on Premier League Live. As it stands, Norwich will be bottom of the table by then. Watford off the bottom for the first time in a while, but it's given away by Andre Gray to Hernandez. And it's 3 against 5 here. 4 against 5 now. Hernandez. Almost got away from Kabasele inside the area. In the end, he pulled down the defender. Free kick for Watford. I think he was just frustrated there because he could see the goal at his mercy. Yeah. Good defending.
Yeah, it was in the end actually, because Kabasele so far Hernandez has had him on toast for the whole of this first half. And actually, I thought for a minute, because he stuck his leg out a bit clumsily, Kabasele, I did think he was going to bring him down. In the end, it was a fantastic piece of defending.
8 minutes plus added time before the managers will get the chance for their half-time team talks. Ben Foster, the former England goalkeeper, will take this free kick. Watford, the first Premier League side since Queen's Park Rangers back in 2012 to fail to win any of their first 11 fixtures. More positively though for them, 3 of the previous 6 sides who have failed to win 11 games at the start of the season have stayed up. It's not all over yet. Not tonight, not this season either. Pukki holds the ball up, plays it forward to Hernandez. Hernandez is going to run towards the penalty area, pulls it back for Pukki, just got the ball stuck under his studs and does at the end find a teammate, and it's blazed over the crossbar by Buendia. Well, he did well there, Pukki.
He did, and it's come from Hernandez again. And Kabasele just cannot deal with him. And Watford they can't carry on like this. They're going to have to double up on him. They've got to do something, because what they're doing at the moment isn't working.
Oh, Buendia, the latest Norwich player, to foul to test Ben Foster. Gets a thumb up from Daniel Farker. I spoke to Daniel Farker after the game at Brighton. They only spent £1.4 million in the summer, Norwich. I asked if there would be funds in January. He basically said no, and told me they were paying the price for previous sins.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing, you know, and considering that, he's performed miracles even to get them to this position. It's incredible. And even when they beat Manchester City, they had 8 injuries. 8 first-team players were out injured.
They had 2 midfielders and centre-half, didn't they?
Yeah, it is incredible. It really is amazing. You know, for this, all right, the league this year may be a step too far for this team, but you have to say, the way they're playing, the way they're going about the business, what they've achieved to get here, it's remarkable, really.
You do feel, though, without significant investment, the only way could be down back to the Championship. But sometimes, and we've seen it with the likes of West Bromwich Albion springs to mind, you need to take a step back to come forward. Burnley did it, didn't they, on the Sean Dyche?
Yeah. West Brom would be a good example. There's a few teams. Sometimes, you know, it's just it comes about a little bit too early, the Premier League, for a team.
But for every Burnley and West Bromwich Albion, there's a Leeds and a Nottingham Forest who seemingly never come back. Here's a good cross into the Watford area, plucked from the sky by Foster, with McLean waiting to pounce, and Foster bowls it out quickly to the goalscorer Delafeu. Just checked his run, seemed a bit reluctant there to take on Jamal Lewis, and goes back now inside the Watford half of the field. Cabaselli down the line to Decore in space. He's done well there, Decore, and makes his way towards the centre of the Watford half. This is Will Hughes out to the left hand side. Holebas will cross eventually, right footed, lacked purpose really, and it's cleared away by Lewis. Pookie can't hold it up though, under pressure from Cathcart. One back by McLean. You could hear a scream from McLean there as he miscontrolled the ball, and it goes out for a throw on halfway. Norwich fans still trying to urge their team forward. 1-0 down with 4 minutes plus added time still to play at the end of this first half. What's been a really entertaining game so far, when you consider these two are the bottom two in the Premier League. But as much as they've looked a bit dubious defensively, not lack confidence going forward, either of them.
They've gone toe to toe. The game has been the better for it. They really have. There's nothing worse than two teams who a bit nervous, lacking confidence, who and both sit back waiting for the other side to do something, but not a bit of it in this game. They've both gone, as I say, toe to toe, and it's been fantastic first half.
Norwich in possession, just inside the Watford half with Lewis. He goes back for Godfrey forward now to Buendia. He's going to try and switch the play. It loops off a Watford man, and Pookie can't hold it up. Pookie's been caught in the face, I think, but he's gone down theatrically right in front of the referee, who allows Watford to play on. Norwich fans not happy with that. It's been played out by Cathcart because Pookie is still down. Didn't see much in it at first glance. And Gerard Delafeu is laid flat on his backside now. Nothing in that from Pookie. Decore's arm maybe across his Adam's apple, but certainly no intention.
No, certainly not. Just holding him off. Just holds him off. He's just bigger and stronger. Holds him off. There's no intention in that whatsoever.
Worrying sign for Watford though. Delafeu down receiving treatment. Seems to be complaining of a neck problem. Of course, they've already lost Pereira early in this game. I think they will at least give Delafeu until half time to run it off. We're watching a replay now. Says he went to... Well, in fact, we're watching a replay of the goal. where Dia dispossessed. Lovely step over on the edge of the area and a good finish low into the corner beyond Tim Krul. That's the goal that separates these two sides. And in fairness, Buendia immediately put both arms in the air as if to say sorry. Got a consolatory pat on the back from Onel Hernandez. Delafeu in deep conversation with the Watford physio.
Difficult to see exactly what the problem is. He's certainly holding the back of his neck. I mean, he might have just locked a muscle up in there or something.
I think the ball struck him on the back.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a crossfield ball that he unintentionally cut out with the back of his head.
Well, players restarted. The ball given back to Cathcart by the referee, Andre Mariner. Cathcart all the way back for Foster. Delafeu is back out there, seemingly able to continue, and the ironic cheers you can hear are because Norwich have been awarded a free kick. I think the referee's had a decent game.
Yeah, he has.
Let it flow, not too many contentious moments. No need for VAR, thankfully, after some of the scenes last weekend. I did that Everton-Tottenham game. It was absolute farce.
I was at home trying to watch it. It was a painful experience.
Here's Cathcart down by the corner flag. Buendia slides in and makes sure the ball ricochets behind off Cathcart. Quick throw in taken by Norwich, who running out of time to get back on level terms before the break. Here's Stiepermann. Stiepermann into the area. Pukki with a chance, maybe. Excellent block by Kabasele. It's going to be a corner. Kabasele goes down. Felt the force of that one, but important piece of defending once more. Kabasele punches the ground. Clearly in some pain here. Maybe it was a follow-through from Pukki after he took the shot. Yeah, just caught the ankle of Kabasele.
Yeah, Pukki's gone to swing at it, trying to reverse the ball back across Foster into the far corner. He doesn't know, to be fair, he doesn't know Kabasele is there, and instead of kicking the ball, he kicks Kabasele's ankle. That would have been painful.
Into 3 added minutes at the end of the first half. Buendia will take this corner. Norwich is 4 for the game. High towards the near post. Tetty got a flick on it, but should be cleared by Andre Gray. Made a mess of it, and here's Pukki with a chance to shoot for a crowded area, straight into the arms of Foster.
Oh, do you know, I mean, I'm as a strikers union, I'm loath to have a go at him for shooting, but he knows Hernandez is there on the outside, and if he just reverses the ball, he's clean through on goal. What a time that would have been to score for Norwich.
And we played almost a minute of the 3 added on. Teemu Pukki's had twice as many shots as any other Norwich player this season. Here he is again, midway inside the Watford half. He's going to try and take on Dawson. He does go out to the left, and Hernandez this time. And Hernandez brilliantly away from Janmaat into the area. Can he pick out a teammate in Canary Yellow? Hernandez is going to take on Janmaat again and stands it up to the far post. Headed clear by Holibas and then volleyed into the stand on this near side by Delafeu.
Brilliant again from Hernandez. The problem is really, Norwich struggle to make the most of his crosses. There's no height in the box. It's difficult for them to get up and join Pukki in attack. And those crosses, good as they are, they're invariably finding a Watford head.
Ben Godfrey, 10 yards inside the Norwich half. We played 90 seconds of the 3 added minutes. 1-0 Watford lead. Delafeu in the 2nd minute of the game with a goal at the moment is going to take Watford off of the bottom of the Premier League and side. 5 yards inside the Watford half, turns away from Decore, but not much movement ahead of him, so he's forced to go back for Godfrey. Godfrey into the feet of Buendia, turns away from Hughes, finds Pukki 5 yards outside the area. Pukki back to Buendia again. His touch was heavy and it's cleared by Dawson. They've had lots of little moments, Norwich, in the final third, but it hasn't quite come off.
It's the final ball, isn't it? It's just that final ball. They're getting into some great positions.
Here's Tetty. One last chance maybe to get the cross into the area. McLean over the top for Pukki on the volley into the arms of Foster. Took it first time. Good technique, but not enough power.
Cracking effort. Really was. He knows where the goal is, doesn't he? He wasn't even looking over his shoulder. Really difficult to control that volley safely into Foster's arms. Worth a go though.
He'll be in action for Finland during the international break. He's been in good goal scoring form for his country this season, as well as his club. That goal drought now stretching to 6.5 matches as Will Hughes looks to carve one more opportunity for Watford before half-time. They've got to get it into the penalty area here because the 3 minutes are up. Hughes up against Aarons. And there is the half-time whistle. Well, this match got off to a frantic start. Gerard Delafeu seizing on a mistake from Buendia to give Watford the lead inside 2 minutes. It's been like a basketball game since then. The two teams exchanging possession, exchanging chances, but no further goals. Half-time, Watford off the bottom as it stands. Norwich will be propping up the rest unless they can stage a second half recovery. It is Norwich City 0, Watford 1. You are listening to Premier League Live.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6 on TalkSport.
He'd like to build the world a bar and furnish it with booze, with champagne trees and cocktail bees and fountains of home brew. He'd like to buy the world a drink. Cheers! A bottle of Chablis, a whiskey sour at happy hour, a magnum of Polly. That's the Brazil thing.
And then a wine bar.
It's the real thing.
What's wrong with that?
The Alan Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast.
The morning pickup that refreshes the parts other breakfast shows just can't reach.
Monday morning from 6 on Talk Sport.
Spitspot.
It's a classic afternoon radio emission from the other side. Hawksby and Jacobs, deceased. After a joke about Chelsea went catastrophically wrong and died, Andy Jacobs was transported to a parallel lunchtime netherworld.
Only you can hear me, Paul. Only you.
Only me and 3 million listeners, Andy.
Banished to spend eternity wearing white suits, unearthing spectacularly big-named interviews, and bringing a new spectral dimension to radio entertainment.
And occasionally materialising in ladies' changing rooms.
That was a genuine mistake. I thought it was the kebab shop next door.
Investigate the annals of Hawksby and Jacobs, deceased. Weekday afternoons from 1
I've gone, what does it matter?
on TalkSport.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast.
This is the time of the year where you've got to have your horses right.
Weekday mornings from 6
And you backed them on the nose.
on Talk Sport.
I'm Sam Matterface and this is Game Day. TalkSport has your weekend covered as we give you a series of exclusive podcasts bringing you total coverage of the Premier League with a trio of top podcasts. On Thursday, myself and a legendary lineup of pros and pundits will preview the action to all 10 Premier League matches.
On Saturday, it's your verdict with me, Laura Woods, and Adrian Durham, bringing you all the reaction and the very best of the phone-in.
On Monday morning, it's the turn of the record book with me, Danny Kelly. I'll be joined by the very best guests as we look back at all the weekend's action, going down the odd tangent as well.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast. Monday morning from 6 on Talk Sport.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. My, oh my, what a beautiful day. Molly and horses coming my way. Only 4 hours, magical pay.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast.
Hospitality knocks for Alan Brazil.
Monday morning from 6 on Talk Sport.
Welcome back to Premier League Live, the first game of a fascinating weekend, and this has been quite an intriguing contest as well. We expected it to be tight and cagey between the league's bottom two. Not a bit of it.
Deulofeu has robbed Buendia and makes his way into the penalty area. Gerard Deulofeu here for Watford. What a start! Gerard Deulofeu inside 2 minutes.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Watford strike first blood in this basement battle.
Good ball through to Hernandez, and he's got the wrong side of Dawson. Ben Foster does really well, but it might still be alive. Pookie with a shot from the edge of the area. The goal was unguarded. Good block by Cavaselli. Kept alive by Holibas. Into the feet of Hughes inside the penalty box. Gray on the turn, shoots just wide via a deflection. It's actually a really good block from Ben Godfrey. Yeah, Watford a goal to the good at half-time. Some interesting stats as well, Dave Kitson, from that first half. Norwich now haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their 9 home Premier League games, their last 9 home Premier League games. That's their longest such run since their first 10 games at Carrow Road in the 2011-2012 season. As for Gerard Deulofeu, that's the second fastest goal scored away from home in the Premier League this season, behind only Harry Kane's goal against Liverpool, 76 seconds when Deulofeu put the ball in the back of the net. But actually, in credit to Norwich, that they've responded pretty well. They could have crumbled, they didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I will say is you can see why these teams are where they are. As good as the game has been, and as fascinating to watch it unfold, it's just not stopped for a second. But the chances being given up by both sides. I mean, if that game had ended there 3-3 after, you wouldn't have been surprised. But the fact that it's 1-0 is the surprise. I think there's more goals in this game.
I suppose the natural instinct for Watford as this game goes on, and maybe it's something that Quique Sanchez-Flores might be guarding against in his half-time team talk, would be to sit deep.
Yeah, no. I think they've got to play a natural game, certainly. I think if they start tinkering now, don't forget they've got Deeney to come on when they need an out ball if they're under the cosh in the last 10-15 minutes, and what a great out ball to have someone to hold it up for you, get the team off the pitch. I don't think they need to do anything rash right now. They do need to stop Hernandez, who's been running the show for Norwich. I'll be amazed if they don't do something, make a little, maybe not a change, but certainly double up on him, because if Norwich do something in this game, it's going to come from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Timu Pukki, talk to me as a former striker, because what impressed me so much, I commentated for Premier League Live the very first game of the season against Norwich. His movement was against Liverpool. His movement was excellent. He took his goal really well. For me, at the start of the season, when the goals were flying in, he was acting off instinct.
Yeah.
Don't see that so much tonight. The ball's getting stuck under his studs. He's just taking the extra few seconds. Is that just confidence?
Yeah, I've noticed that. I think when he sort of comes inside, you expect him to whip it, and he's not doing it, is he? He's got into sort of 3 or 4 positions where you think, go on then, just touch it out to the side and bend it in that far post, like we've been seeing him do in the Championship and indeed in the Premier League in the early stages this year. And he's just not doing it. I don't think it's a confidence thing. It's difficult to say what it is. Maybe he just needs one that he can't miss, really, rather than trying to manufacture something for himself, because I don't think he's that kind of player. I think he's a finisher of moves.
What would Daniel Farke be saying to his team at half-time?
Well, certainly going forward, more of the same. Get the ball to Hernandez, back him up, get players in the box, and get on the edge of the box, because a lot of the stuff that Hernandez is cutting back, no one's arriving to it. We've seen it once with Brendea when he blazed it over the crossbar. We need to see more of that. That's how they're going to get back into this game.
Well, plenty of live action coming your way tomorrow. Chelsea against Crystal Palace kicks it off at 12:30 UK time. We can hear now from the Chelsea manager, and indeed the newly crowned manager of the month for October, Frank Lampard. Chelsea in the top 4, and Lampard said he's not concerned about the chasing pack.
We're looking in the mirror at ourselves, because up or down, I think, are things you can't always control. What will be with those teams, and they have their problems or their strong points or whatever. What we have to do is look at ourselves week in, week out. Look at Crystal Palace tomorrow, go away everybody for international or a little break or whatever we have, and then we come back and we play Manchester City. So every week brings a challenge of a game. At the moment we're pretty happy with what we've done, but I think we can always get a lot better. So that's the only way. I don't think we should look too much anywhere else rather than within.
Frank Lampard there speaking ahead of Chelsea against Crystal Palace. That's our first game tomorrow, 12:30 UK time. Another busy Saturday in the Premier League. What have you made, Dave, of Chelsea's start of the season? Hammered at Manchester United on the opening day, never really looked back.
No, it's amazing, isn't it? You were thinking, Mount, Abrahams, can they step up? Can they? Well, just a little bit. I mean, they have stepped up and more. In fact, they've dragged some of the senior players along with them. He's been fantastic. Lampard has clearly proved himself. He proved himself at Derby, or he didn't go up, but you saw enough of him to see that this guy is a manager. He's going to be a manager for a long time. He got the job very early on. Everyone said he got it because there was a transfer ban and a bit of feel good around Stamford Bridge, bringing a legend back. But actually, he's probably given the resources. The fact that they've got that transfer ban, he's probably punching above his weight. They've had some terrific results. They look like the old Chelsea, hard to beat.
There will come a time, though, when you've got so many young players, they do hit a sticky patch, and it will be interesting to see how they come back from that.
Yeah, of course, because it happens to everybody. But the fact that they're doing it now means that actually when that does happen, you can say, look, we know you can do it. You've been doing it, so it just makes it that much easier. There's nothing worse than if they'd have started the season in a poor vein of form and carried on. That would have really played on their mind, because it's so much more difficult to get going.
Crystal Palace have a phenomenal record, don't they, away from home against the so-called Big Six. Why is it they're so successful against the brighter lights in the Premier League?
It's funny, I watched them, I was at the game at Selhurst Park where they played Manchester City, and honestly they did not lay a glove on City.
It's more away from home, though, isn't it?
No, it is. It's really, really bizarre that they sort of turn it on. But then maybe some teams just prefer playing away from home. There's less pressure on them. Fans, no one expects them to get anything, and some players revel in that.
So that's tomorrow. Chelsea taking on Crystal Palace. Plenty of live football coming your way. We'll have the goals they go in during our 3 o'clock commentary. Tottenham against Sheffield United. Burnley are at home to West Ham at the same time. Newcastle take on Bournemouth. Southampton up against Everton at St Mary's. And then at 5:30 we'll have full commentary of Leicester against Arsenal. Sunday, 3 games. Manchester United against Brighton. At the same time, Wolves play Villa. That's 2 o'clock UK time. Then the big one, Liverpool against Manchester City. Here, though, at Carrow Road, Watford halfway to their first Premier League win of the season. Can they see it out? Find out next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast. Monday morning from 6 on Talk Sport.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. Later it's Polly and Bookies, all for most excellent pay.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast. Monday morning from 6.
Ring your neck in, Alan, that's enough.
On Talk Sport.
That's brilliant. There. Well, he's the king of the gingers, yeah. The TalkSport VIP. He's reached the top with his carrot mop and his tall and freckly. He's on every day with coffee. With top fast bowling chat.
You're not wrong.
They'll hit you for 6 with a sporting mix from the middle of their cricket bat. I want to be like you.
What have you said now?
I want a ginger, a head that's red too. You say it's true.
I've had enough of it.
Someone like me.
Don't talk about that.
Can learn to be like Durham, like you.
Join the kings of the sporting jungle. Adrian Durham and Darren Goff. Weekday afternoons from 4.
That's Talk Sport I'm talking about, man.
Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs on Sport. Talk Sport. It's the double-O duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksby and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got Pussy Galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksby and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Sport.
You've reached the voicemail of Alan Brazil.
If you're lucky, you just might catch the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast.
If you know where they look.
A solid Scottish bon vivant. He's been there, seen it, drunk it. Today's a friendly bookie, and life's an all-day junket. He put a monkey on a horse. That didn't make the course. Oh, Alan!
They call me the Tartan Pimpernel.
It's a comic daily steeplechase of tartan joviality. A proper wedge of wonder and corporate hospitality. It's a full day's toil when you're always on the boil like Alan.
Alan!
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast. Talk Sports National Treasure. Available across the UK in wine bars, hospitality tents, bookies, and occasionally on Talk Sport.
Join me Monday morning from 6 o'clock.
Hopefully.
On digital radio and 1089 and 1053 AM.
Cheers!
Talk Sport.
You are listening to Talk Sports coverage of Norwich City against Watford from Carrow Road. I'm your host, Alex Crook. Alongside me is the former Stoke, Portsmouth and Reading striker Dave Kitson. This is Premier League Live. We have to go back to March for the last time Watford beat a current Premier League side. They are 45 minutes away from ending that barren run. It is the Norwich City players who emerge from the tunnel on the halfway line first. The Watford players still sheltering from the rain. Onel Hernandez amongst the first to emerge. You do feel, Dave Kitson, if Norwich are to overturn this 1-0 deficit, he will be central to it.
Yeah, everything that Norwich did that was good in the first half was coming down the left flank with Hernandez. He really was their man. As I said as well in the break, it's one thing getting there, it's then what is the end product. There's no point hanging it up. Norwich don't have the players, the big number 9 that's going to come in on the back post and head it. It's got to be cut back, and they need to get more players arriving on the edge of the box. As Buendia did, he tried to, he placed it over the crossbar, but that is going to be their best source of goals.
Gerard Deulofeu picked up an injury at the end of that first half when the ball struck him on the back of the neck. Has come back out. Doesn't look as if either manager is going to go to their bench at this stage, so Norwich will continue with Krul in goal, Aarons, Tetty, Godfrey and Lewis in defence, Tribal and McLean deepest in the midfield, with Buendia, Stiepermann and Hernandez behind Timu Pukki in attack. Watford, as Norwich get us underway, shooting from left to right in the yellow shirts in this second half, have Foster in goal, Janmat Kabasele, Dawson, Cathcart, Holibas in defence, Decore and Capoue deep in midfield, Hughes behind Deulofeu and Andre Gray on as an early substitute up front. Norwich 0, Watford 1. Goal scored by Gerard Delafeu. For those of you just joining us, you missed an exciting first half. Watford have only managed 2 clean sheets in their last 23 matches. That will give Daniel Farke hope of a second half comeback. At the moment, Norwich heading for a 6th defeat in 7 matches since beating Manchester City here famously earlier in the season. Does it make a difference as well, Dave Kitson, when you know you've got 2 weeks off because of the international break? If you lose this game, that's a long fortnight, isn't it? I'll come back to that because Watford are attacking. Decore looking to make a quick start to the second half. It deflects and loops over the bar and behind for a corner.
It's unbelievable, honestly. They just let him get. It's exactly the same, almost really, as the goal with Delafeu. They just let him run straight into the box, and in the end, he doesn't want to shoot because it's not part of his game. He just thinks, well, why not? I may as well have a go. They're just backing off and letting me run Decore, and he has a go, deflection, gets his team a corner, and Norwich are on the back foot in the first minute of the second half.
Yeah, Delafeu will take that corner. Carrow Road a bit more subdued now than they were when the teams came out for the first half. Delafeu in the yellow boots has taken a long run up. Not much height on the cross. Flying header clear was from McLean. Delafeu dispossessed. The ball bounces kindly for Hughes, who taps it back into the centre circle, and Capoue. Is it a long 2 weeks after defeat if you're not playing for your country?
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's but a win, and you just feel $1 million because you can actually, if you've got a decent manager who'll give you a bit of time off, he appreciates that perhaps in the international break lads could do with a rest and go and sun themselves. It's not always like that. When I was at Stoke, we were in running every day, but there you go.
That's what I'll be doing Sunday week, jetting off to Portugal. Bit of warm weather training for me as well.
Very nice.
Here is Jamal Lewis for Norwich over the halfway line. He'll hope to be in action for Northern Ireland. Of course, they've lost their manager over the last 24 hours. Michael O'Neill taking on what's become a bit of a poison chalice at Euro Club Stoke.
Yeah, all the best with that one. I mean, it's a great job, but you just can't find a manager to put it together at the moment, and it's such a shame because the fans they deserve, the very best.
I do feel sorry for Northern Ireland as well, losing Michael O'Neill right at the business end of qualifying. Hernandez has reacted angrily there, having been fouled just inside the Norwich half of the field. It's the first yellow card. Goes the way of Christian Cabaselli. Just got the wrong side and then dragged down Hernandez by his shirt.
Yeah, and that is a clear sign that Cabaselli has been
disappointed. Lewis will be disappointed with the defending. Got to get to that ball first. His life depends on it. Gray's the winner in that challenge.
Andre Gray's second Premier League goal.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be telling your assistant manager and your coach would be screaming at the players, get the ball to Hernandez now at every single opportunity. If it wasn't difficult enough for Cabaselli in the first half, it's going to be even more of an uphill task now.
Olivas with the ball forward for Watford. We've played 4 minutes since half time. 1-0 they lead. Gerard Delafeu with the early goal. His second of the season. His first from open play. Decore forward to Delafeu, and then Capoue looks to release Andre Groves. Salutes the effort, but the ball carries all the way through to Krul, the goalkeeper. 1 clean sheet in 16 games now for Tim Krul. Saved a couple of penalties in Norwich's last home game against Manchester United, but they still lost 3-1. They do give you chances. We've seen that already. So Norwich, you have the ball. Tom Treibel, the German, tiptoes towards the centre circle and plays it back to Alex Tettey. Tettey here. Will play it out to the right. Max Aarons, who's well forward. Watford keeping their shape though behind the ball. Lewis has been dispossessed by Janmaat. Luckily for the defender, the ball just trickles out for a throw. It's the Watford fans now who are more vocal inside Carrow Road. Pretty much full to capacity. 1 or 2 empty seats dotted around on a dank and dreary night in Norfolk. Echoing the mood really for home fans. And there's Lewis running his way into trouble again there on the halfway line. Andre Gray can't take full advantage. Delafeu trying to make it awkward for Godfrey, but Godfrey goes back to Krul inside the penalty area. Krul out to this right hand side, and Max Aarons. Aarons coming infield. Plays it back out to Lewis, who's had a nervous start of the second half, and again he's asked too much there of Buendia. Daniel Farker showing some frustration down on the touchline, and here's Holebas forward for Watford in the blue boots. Goes back to Capoue. Holebas again well forward. Corey into the feet of Capoue. Plays it into the Watford half, and Cathcart forward for Holebas. Capoue finds Hughes in space. He's got Delafeu and Gray ahead of him. Yamat's in Akers over on the right hand side. Delafeu away from Teti, who dived in. Delafeu's cross blocked originally by Aarons, but he gets it in there second time in the back heel. Super goal, and Andre Gray may just have sealed the points for Watford. Well, they made a lightning quick start to the first half. It's taken them a bit longer in the second, but Andre Gray innocent impression, getting dog's abuse from a man in a Pinky Blinders cap in the front row of the stands. And the referee Andre Mariner just coming across to calm things here. We've played 11 second half minutes. It remains Norwich 0, Watford 2. Bit of provocation there from Yamat, having barged Lewis into the advertising hoardings, just pointed in his face. You can see why Lewis reacted.
Yeah, grabbed him round the neck first as well, which was completely unnecessary.
Just trying to stir things up there, or Yamat, the Dutchman. Well, life has absolutely been sucked out of these Norwich City supporters around the ground. They're very sombre now, having conceded that goal early in each half. They trail 2-0. Pukki's back heel towards Stiepermann, but read by Decore, and Capoue, I think, has had an excellent game in that midfield engine room. Runs it clear towards the halfway line. They've missed him in the 5 games that he was out. Etienne Capoue. Here's a chance there, maybe for Hernandez, and Cathcart slides in and gets there ahead of Hernandez, and there's a Watford player down injured. It may well be the aforementioned Capoue holding his ankle. Yamat, I think, wanted to play on, but pokes it out so that Capoue can receive some treatment. Looks in some discomfort, Etienne Capoue. It was a back problem that had been keeping him sidelined. We do have Nathaniel Chalabar on the bench, who had been deputising for the former Tottenham man.
Yeah, he looks all right now. I think he's going to be okay. I think just falls awkwardly. Actually, it's Tribal who just lands on the back of his Achilles. He won't be able to run that off, you would have thought.
It's the third goal that Andre Gray has scored from the bench in 2019, more than any other player, the archetypal super sub. Etienne Capoue smiling now as he prepares to come back on. Watford fans are smiling, Norwich fans not so much. I wonder if Daniel Farker might be contemplating making some changes. Just to run through the benches, actually. Norwich have Byram, Todd Cantwell, Dermich, Farman, the reserve goalkeeper, Ibrahim Amadou, midfielder by trade, who's been playing at centre-back largely this season, Dennis Srebeni, the German, and Mario Vrancic, who would probably be the most likely to be called upon. Watford, having already used one of their subs, have Delafeu in possession. Going to dribble into some space in the area. Shackled by Tribal. Here's Buendia facing his own goal. Wants it back for Tribal to clear. Cathcart has shown too much of that to Buendia. And Buendia making his way towards the 18-yard box. Cross towards Hernandez at the far post. Janmaat put it back towards his own goal and out for a corner.
But just for a second I thought he scored a spectacular own goal in the top corner. It actually is a brilliant clearance. Better by Norwich, it really is. Much more positive in those forward areas.
Buendia with a corner. Near side. Norwich is first in the second half. It's a good delivery. Headed away by Hughes. Only as far as Pookie on the volley. And that's high over the crossbar. You can see the lack of confidence almost on the face of team.